Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. This is Professor Diaz, and today we're going to talk about the math library and minimum, maximum, and absolute value functions. There's going to be a couple more than that we'll go over, but really you can actually look this up on your own. If you Google Python math library, you can click on the documentation. Just as like reference, when you are looking up help online, especially with Python, the documentation links are probably your best bet. That contains information that is mostly correct. So yeah, as you can see here, we have math.seal, math.com, copy sign, factorial, floor, and we're going to try some of these out. So this will tell you what they do, and it'll show you what parameters you need to use, that stuff within the parentheses, to obtain an answer, to use it correctly. Okay, so we're going to start by importing the math library. And what that means is it's a set of related modules or packages bundled up together, but a module is a collection of code or functions that uses the .py extension. It's not super important. So we're going to import math, and then we're going to start by checking out math.py. So math, and then you press dot, and then pi. And pi shows up as like a highlighted word. Okay, we're going to print that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and run this. And you'll see that we have the digits for pi. So this is an easy way to use that if you need to. We are also going to try pow, which is short for power. So user num equals math. Whoops. And let's say we have 2 to the third power. Okay, so the number goes here, and the power you're going to raise to goes here. And we're going to print this. And I'll go ahead and get rid of these ones so there's no confusion. All right, and that's 8. And then you're going to notice that it gives you a float as an answer, just something to keep in mind. Okay, so that's power. We can also get the square root. Skirt, square root. That one's kind of fun to say. So hopefully you'll be able to remember it. So let's pick an easy number like 4 so we can check it. And then we're going to print the square root is CR. And it's good to do things like this with the strings, with the print statements, so that you get practice. All right, I'm going to run this. So the square root is 2. All right, and we can check that easily. That is in fact correct. All right, so that's square root. We can also try something else. Now, you're probably going to be using these functions more than usual within this class, and that's going to be the min and the max function. So I'm going to create number, right? And I'm going to start by typing the word min and then open up parentheses. And what I put in the parentheses is a list of numbers, could be whatever numbers I want. And the min function will return the smallest number in that collection. So when I print, so user num, we should get the 5. So let's see if we get 5. And we do. Excellent. So this also works for decimals. So let's Let's try 5.1 and 5.2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run this. 5.1, excellent. So you can also use fractions. Likewise, we have another function called max, which does the opposite. It gives you the largest number in the list. So in this case, it's going to be 90. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And just like that, the correct answer is 90. So that's max. Get rid of that. So let's try something else. Let's try factorial. So I'm not sure where you are in your math courses, but there's something called factorial. So we'll go math.factorial, and it just means that it's a running product. So basically what this says is, what this basically means is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So we'll go ahead and we'll run this. And the answer to this one is 24. And that's correct. We could do the math pretty quickly in our head with this one. So something else. We're going to give math.ceil an explanation. And what math.ceil is it rounds upward. So a number that we can use to determine this would be or to test this would be 4.1. And this is going to round up. So if we round up 4.1, we should get 5. So the next whole number. So I'm going to go ahead and run it. And we get 5. And similar to this, similar but opposite, is floor. And floor gives us the rounding down of the number. So the next whole number down is 4. So we should get 4. Here we go. These are very, very, very useful. I cannot stress that enough. We also can embed these within each other. And what I mean by that is I can use these functions within other functions. So if I use ceil and I want to, let's say, do the ceiling of the answer of a power, and we're going to try this one out. So we're using pow to get the power of 2 to the 1/2 power, and then we're rounding that up using ceil. There we go, we get 2. Okay. Last but not least, I wanted to go over ABS, absolute value, and that looks like this. You don't have to use the math dot with this one, just like with min and max, you don't have to use the dot operator. So these are built into the Python programming language. So that's why. All right, so this gets the absolute value. So if we put -3, our answer is 3, positive 3. If we put normal 3 or positive 3, we get 3. So this could be really, really useful when you don't want to get negative answers or you're just trying to get the distance between something. All right, and that is all I have for you today. Go ahead and practice up on these, and we're going to be using them for the next lab. All right, so thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful day.